But it cannot be a kind of divorce situation.
No, it's purely professional.
It's purely professional. This is Carole Ashby, James Bond girl, number.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember now.
No,
it's a long time ago.
Not important. Welcome to the ScanPress news agency. We are very delighted to have one of the most famous James Bond girls.
You're just saying that. Oh, listen.
Well, no,
I did two, which is something, but the parts weren't to see.
It's a big achievement.
Yes. Once you're a Bond girl, you're a Bond girl forever. So it's great, and I was very lucky.
Well, in the course of years, you have been asked lots of questions. But is there anything you have been hiding from the public? I mean, can you tell me something? Really?
Certainly not. If I've been hiding it for this long, I won't be telling you now. No.
Is there anything we have missed? Something juicy from the work on your films? If you could say something which is this is not off the record, but this is.
It's certainly not off the record, darling, is it?
Partly, no. But situations you remember. Most
situations I remember. Actually, I'm talking about this about 5 minutes ago, and I was asked how I got the second Bond movie, because people don't often do two.
No.
And I said just by a bit of luck. I said they were desperate, they were looking for somebody. And what happened was I came back off tour from doing Octopussy. I went around the world on tour, which was fantastic. And I got back home, and I was sharing a house with a friend of mine who had a cat. And I was cleaning the cat litter out, thinking I've just been on tour in the most beautiful hotels, wonderful parties, premieres and whatever. And now I'm cleaning the cat litter out, doing the laundry. What's happened to my life? And then the phone went, and I answered the phone, said, "It's John." I said, "John who?" He said, "It's John Glenn." I went, "Hello, John." I said, I'm cleaning the cat litter out, thinking how my life has changed. He went, Carole, I'm at Pinewood now. I said, "Can I just ask you a question? Have you got big tits and can you whistle?" And I went, "Well, I've got medium-sized ones." And I said, "I can whistle really badly inwards." He said, "What?" I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, do you want the job? It's about it's the next movie, actually, and it's a cabaret artist that, is a whistling girl. Yes. So you need to whistle, but you need to look good in this dress." I went, "Well, can you dub the whistling?" I said, "I can get the dress on and do the bits here, it could be fine." So he said, "Perfect." So the next day, the car arrived. I was on the next movie, which was View to a Kill, playing the cabaret artist at the top of the Eiffel Tower. And they did dub me, because I can only whistle like... terrible, I can't whistle properly. So that's how I got the next part. So,
Well, that was very...
It was a different story.
Wasn't so different, difficult, I mean. Well, but is there any particular scene you think was difficult to make? Now I think about both of the films.
Well, the scene at the top of the Eiffel Tower, which was actually at Pinewood Studios, was not so much difficult, but it was a bit of a drama going on, because John would say, I was in the front doing my bit, doing this whistling, and it was an illusion act, I don't really remember, with the butterflies.
It didn't look safe.
No, exactly. But also it wasn't safe, because the guy and his assistant who controlled the butterflies, which were on like a fishing wire, were rowing in the back. So he's shooting it, and they're having a row. You could hear their voices, and the butterflies were going all over the place. And then one got a hook on. You remember Monsieur Aubergine gets hooked in the face when he's having dinner with Bond. So that was quite a drama, trying to get that, calm them down, sort the fishing rods out, sort the butterflies out, and make it look like it was a slick and sophisticated act. So that was a bit of a drama. The next one was in Octopussy, and we were in India. We were shooting a massive scene with helicopters go overhead on the ceremonial barge. Big scene, huge scene. And
it was the time before digital effects,
yes,
right?
Absolutely. You got to get it right. It was a lot of things to think about. And what I did the night before, being a bit of a practical joker, playing hijinks, we'd had a water fight with the photographer. And it was by the fountain in a marble courtyard. And I went aquaplaning. The water and marble don't go. And I slid and hit the wall, and I pulled the nail off my toe, and broke my toe, and was collapsed on the floor. This is the first night I arrived. Carole Catastrophe is my nickname now. So Rocky the stuntman carried me to my room. The doctor arrived and whatever. So long story short, I refused to let them take the nail off, but they bound my foot. I had a slipper on it. And so when we started the next day, it was my first day of shooting, they said, "Right, okay, are you ready?" Looking at the crowds, the helicopters go, "Right, slipper." action. So they had to make sure this slipper, which is not very glamorous. So, Bond girls don't want to have slippers on when they film. So that was, another bit of a headache I caused them, but they still brought me back. So that was nice. So.
My next question is like this. Maybe I feel sometimes old-fashioned, but the modern James Bond films, I think they lack something. They lack wit. They lack humor. It's too much stress. Do you think it's a big difference between the older James Bond films?
Well, you're talking to an older Bond girl, so I'm going to be agreeing with you, aren't I? I'm very much old school. I loved it in my time. It wasn't so PC.
Today's
it's different. It's changed. It's evolved with the times, though. I think they're pretty smart about what's going on out there and what works and what people like or what's acceptable. Things change. Things do change. Don't forget, I made it 30-something years ago, dare I say. There is still humour in it, it's different. I think I quite like, because I'm a bit of a rebel anyway, about being not too PC, because I think you start to lose it if you're treading around everything, you find it upsetting anybody. I'm not that PC. No. I mean, I'm respectful and never be hurtful, but you've got to have a little bit of leeway to be playful, I think I'm glad I did it when I made those movies. It was a really fun time, and I was very lucky to be part of it. But I think they've had to move on and change with the times, as the Bonds are all very different as well. Yes. And they play it in a very different way, and each one brings something to the role and something to the franchise. And I'm sure for people now who are younger than us,
we are very young.
And there are many, mentally I'm still 12, in an old shell. It's difficult for me. But for them, they probably love it as it is. Each era loves, we all say, in my day, as my friend's daughter goes, what you mean, in the Tudor times, or when they invented fire. Were you there when they invented fire? That kind of thing. Yeah. So I think we just adapt to the times, and let's face it, they're going to be doing something right. The most, the most successful franchise in the film industry. So I think they're getting it right, don't you? I think they've got it right, actually.
Well, yes, but I still miss
Sean
Connery and Roger.
Roger was...
Lots of people do it.
Well, something, they were, I guess, I'm sure was the original, and Roger was a very popular Bond as well. Right. And that was my Bond. Well, listen, we're all going to be sentimental about things. I'm sentimental about all sorts of things, but it still doesn't take away what's coming out now is good. And I think this next movie, I saw a bit of the filming in Mexico, which was extraordinary. Yeah. And through the grapevine, I hear they're very happy with it. It's going to be really probably one of the best ones ever. So that's quite something. They've got quite a team. So let's just wait and see. We could be very pleasantly surprised. It might keep everybody happy, from the old school to the younger ones.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was Carole Ashby was together with ScanPress.
Thank you very much. It's been fun.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.